There is a nice phrase that we use in conversation. It's called the hustle and the bustle, or it's even called the din. The hustle and bustle of life. Movement all over the place. The din, the noise. The din. And when people are moving constantly, and when there's a lot of din, it's difficult to concentrate. The din is the one that I am thinking of more now. When a lot of people are gathered in a space and there's conversation going on, more and more I'm finding out, and I'm not the only one, please, I'm finding out that there's a lot of din I can't hear. And even the 3 or 4 that I'm speaking with, if they're all talking and just exchanging conversation, I can't hear. The din. I'm not the only one. Magic. I can't even hear myself now. This picks up sounds. The first sound that it picks up is myself. I can hear myself first before I hear you. That's just the nature of the apparatus, you know. When there's a lot of talk going on, there's only certain sounds I can hear, and that's the one I'm looking at, because that's the one I'm learning to concentrate on. Someone may say something this side, but no, I'm paying attention to this one. So what's the big deal about that? When there's a lot of noise, makes it difficult to hear what someone is telling you. And the opposite is also true. The opposite is when everything is quiet, sometimes you wonder, where is this sound coming from? So I had the experience of that in the house today. I have it many times, but today it rang a bell in a very special way. Both Father AJ and I, when we are in conversation, not among ourselves, but with someone else, I use my headphones because the other person can hear me and I can hear better. So this afternoon, I was going to the kitchen. And as I left my room, that house is so big, I'm telling you, it's huge. As I left my room, I heard Father AJ's voice. And I'm tempted to say to him, "Where are you? This is God speaking." All the jokes aside, I knew he was around. I didn't know where he was. So I kept moving to the front part of the house, and I said, he's got to be here, somewhere here. And right enough, he was. You and I experience things like this very often. Our ears get attuned to certain voices. Or maybe we sometimes make the preference of selective hearing. You hear what you want to hear. So spouses say this often, you know. They say, well, I don't know, my wife was saying something and I didn't hear. Maybe they had selective hearing they didn't want to hear. And the other way around too. Or the kids. You try to say something to them and they don't hear. They may have shut you out, you know. They may have. I'm not saying they did. But that's selective hearing. Samuel was sleeping. Eli the prophet. Samuel heard a voice that disturbed him. In the quiet of the night, perhaps, he heard God speaking to him. So he goes to the prophet and he says, "Did you call me?" And Eli said, No, I didn't call you. Just go back to sleep." The second time, he hears a voice and he says, "Did you call me?" And Eli said, "No. Just go back to sleep." Again the Lord called Samuel, who rose and went to Eli, and he said, "Here I am. You called me?" And Eli said, "I didn't call you, my son. Go back to sleep." It's a strange thing how our hearing works. We choose to hear the slightest of sounds, and we choose to hear the loudest of sounds, in the middle of the night, so to speak. Even a whisper sometimes can be heard. There's pin drop silence right now. If I hear someone at the back, I could hear it very clearly. And you can too. I'm not in any special position. No. Your ears are attuned to voices, to sounds. Just like Samuel. In his heart, he felt that the Lord was calling him, and so he goes to the prophet whom he believed, the Lord is working through this man. "Did you call me?" And Eli said, "No, I didn't call you. Go back to sleep." 2 times. 3 times. "Did you call me?" "I didn't call you. Go back to sleep." And then Eli realized that the Lord was calling Samuel. And the next few sentences in that first reading are just beautiful, very poignant, very meaningful. At that time, Samuel was not familiar with the Lord, because the Lord had not revealed anything to him as yet. And then Eli understood that the Lord was calling the youth. So he said to Samuel, "Go to sleep. And if you are called, you simply say, 'Speak, Lord, your servant is listening.'" We hear all kinds of voices. And maybe in the hustle and bustle of life, as we say, or in the din and noise of life, maybe the Lord is calling us. And our hearts and ears are not attuned to the call of the Lord. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. And then there are moments when, in the quietude of life, you feel that the Lord is touching your heart and calling you, speaking with you, asking you for a certain behavior. And maybe you're listening, and maybe you're not. We too exercise selective hearing when God speaks with us. Amen. Amen. That means you believe so. When the voice of the Lord is speaking, if you exercise selective hearing, you may not hear. But if you're attuned to doing the right thing, you say, as Eli told Samuel, "Here I am, Lord, I come to do your will." Amen.